heading to the region at such a volatile time?
I think this is a very important journey. Not only he's going to be addressing the Knesset in Israel, because Israel is going to be confronted with a couple challenges, maybe three challenges. One is they will have to face Iran. Iran is moving in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. But also Israel may have an opportunity to have an Arab alliance with whom they can work, not just to fight against the terrorists, but also to provide a possibility for a new peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. So having the vice president at that moment there is very important. Let me add one thing, Ed. The vice president for the first time mentioned that he is going to ask questions about the Christian minorities in the Middle East. That is something very new in U.S. foreign policy.
Last question, Waleed. I wonder if the vice president's trip can help lay the groundwork, as you say, for at least an effort at Mideast peace. We've heard a lot from the president, high expectations with his son-in-law Jared Kushner leading the effort. As we head into the new year, this is obviously a very volatile time in the Mideast. What do you think are the prospects, the real prospects for peace?
That's a very good way to put it. Real prospects for peace, not just envoys and conferences and talks. We had that for the last 30 years. But what is happening right now is something very new, and I see some significant symbols, which is Arabs are readier than before, and the Arabs who have not signed a peace treaty with Israel, not talking about Egypt or Jordan or even the Palestinian Authority. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and talking about the other countries in the region who have an interest in closing that file with Israel so there could be all together in the Middle East with the United States against the real threat, which is the jihadists and Iran.
Waleed Faris, bring us some important information. A very difficult time in the Mideast. We hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving, sir.
Same to you, sir.
Okay, good to see you.
Thanksgiving football not without its controversy, as New York Giants defensive end Oliver Vernon kneeling during last night's national anthem prior to kickoff. Many taking notice, including the president unleashing this comment on Twitter. Can you believe that the disrespect for our country, our flag, our anthem continues without penalties? To the players, the commissioner has lost control of the hemorrhaging league. Players are the boss. And former quarterback Colin Kaepernick back in the news, participating on Thanksgiving Day on Alcatraz Island, an event that commemorates the 19-month occupation of the island by Native American activists from 1969 to 1971.
Meanwhile, breaking news on the search for the 3 missing U.S. sailors in the Pacific. We are live from the Pentagon with the latest.
Also, President Trump saying Republicans must follow through on their years-long promise to repeal and replace Obamacare. But the president's slamming of the law comes as it sees a sharp increase in people signing up.
Obamacare is a disaster. It's a wreck. It's a train wreck. And it's only getting worse.
You've got ridiculously awesome talent, right? You should be putting it to good use, right? Like winning ridiculously awesome prizes, right? Send a clip to ridiculouscashbash.com and make us choose you to go to Hollywood for the Kmart Ridiculous Cash Bash game show. Enter now, not later, right?
The biggest fear Goldstaff families have that their child will be forgotten.
These people died for us, and we need to appreciate that. The Wreaths Across America wreath laying is really, it's a celebration of life.
To sponsor a wreath, please visit wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Mathnasium is the math learning center with over 800 locations. Call us at 844-FUN-MATH. That's 844-FUN-MATH.
And change your child's life forever.
Hello, I'm an Idaho potato farmer. You've probably seen me running all over the country in search of our big Idaho potato truck. But not anymore. I'm done with that. Just going to stay home on the farm, eat a beautiful Idaho potato, and watch TV with my dog.
The big Idaho potato truck pulled into town today, and it's really a sight to see.
Oh, man. Let's go. You coming, boy?
The season of adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Many people with Medicare may be able to get extra benefits and don't even know they're available. You may be able to get dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage included in your plan. The Medicare Coverage Helpline is accepting calls to see if you're eligible to enroll now. You may be able to get extra benefits including dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. Making sure you go to the doctor and taking all your medications as prescribed can help protect your health. To make it easier, you may now be able to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that includes coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Help protect your health by choosing the right plan for you and get all the benefits you deserve.
Call to see if you may be able to get extra benefits, including dental, vision, and prescription coverage. Don't delay. Call to see if you're eligible to enroll and may be able to get extra benefits now. Call 800-347-1600. That's 800-347-1600.
A Finnish bakery is offering bread, yes, hot bread, with crushed crickets inside. Each loaf has about 70 of them. The crickets are dried up, they promise, ground together and mixed in. The bread, first of its kind. The idea behind it is to help fight world hunger. Earlier this month, Finland started allowing businesses to sell food with insects. 5 other European countries already allow it. Who knew?
Well, I mean, it's for a good cause, so I think it's a good thing.
That's the good part there, right?
Yeah.
But would you actually
listen, at first blush, I was thinking, no way, but it's a good cause, so
You told me you'd go shopping in your pajamas if you could.
Oh, yeah, that's a different story.
But would you go buy bread in your pajamas?
No. Then I would seem cray-cray, and I don't want that. That's another different
You're not cray-cray.
Yeah. Different scenario. All right. All right, Ed Henry, thank you very much. We turn to this now. President Trump slamming the rising cost of health care and blaming Democrats, tweeting, Obamacare premiums are going up, just as I have been predicting for 2 years. Obamacare is owned by the Democrats, and it is a disaster. But do not worry, even though the Dems want to obstruct, we will repeal and replace right after tax cuts. There you go. But even as the president calls Obamacare a disaster, it appears enrollments for 2018 are topping even the most optimistic forecasts. Joining me now is Dr. Kevin Campbell, a cardiologist and CEO of Pacemate. Hello, doctor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
I'm happy to have you here. Listen, Obamacare enrollment up, but you say with conditions. How so?
Well, first of all, we need to realize that the enrollment period has significantly been shortened this year. So it may be up early, but I think we're going to see, probably less than we saw last year because the enrollment period is so much shorter.
Okay, so then do you think will premiums go down for any of the Obamacare insured at some point?
The premiums are going to continue to rise. Most of the major insurers have pulled out over the last several years because, they're showing great losses to their shareholders. And so they're pulling out, so you have less choice, you have less competition, which means that premiums are going to rise. However, those people who are on subsidies are going to continue to be protected. Even though the president, by executive order, eliminated payments to insurers, now these folks will still be covered, if not for free, for very low cost.
So then what about those millions relying on Obamacare, as you just mentioned, for their health insurance? They are fearful, though, of losing coverage. I mean, so should they be concerned or not? What do you say, Doc?
I am concerned that the government or Congress has not done anything in the last year. They had 8 years to prepare for this, and even the Republicans have not come up with a very clear, viable plan. So I think we're going to see more bickering, more obstruction from the Democrats, and I'm not sure we're going to see meaningful health care reform during this administration. I would like to see it, but I am very concerned that there's a whole lot of spinning of wheels and politicizing the entire event.
Well, the president's saying, look, he's going to fire it up again, repeal and replace. It's going to start as early as January after he gets tax cuts done. There's been some dissension inside of the Republican Party as well. It seems that no one in D.C. can sort of come up with the right comprehensive replacement for Obamacare. What do you think?
I think the infighting has really plagued the Republicans. We've controlled all 3 houses of government, and we still cannot seem to get meaningful legislation through. But the ultimate downfall of Obamacare is the fact that it's unaffordable. And ultimately, as the president said, it is going to implode unless changes are made. We need the Democrats and Republicans to come together and come up with meaningful reform that allows patients to have access to care. You know, it promised access and affordability and delivered none of that. We have millions that are insured on paper only. They are not really insured because they can't find a doctor, they can't afford their copays, and it's not working.
And as a physician yourself, a cardiologist, maybe you know this or not, but you can talk to your colleagues possibly about it. You may have. How does it work for doctors, Obamacare, in terms of their payouts, et cetera?
You know, in a lot of markets, the reimbursement with the Obamacare exchange insurance is even lower than Medicare and Medicaid, which is already much lower than you know, traditional insurance. Even in one of the more liberal states, such as California, we see that the minority of physicians actually accept exchange insurance. So what does that mean for the person that needs health care? Again, you can't keep your doctor. You have to find a doctor that's on a particular exchange. I think the plans are very difficult to navigate and almost unaffordable. So I think, unfortunately, even though we're here wanting to focus on prevention of disease, we can't do that because our patients can't get to us.
And if you were going to be advising Congress, as well as the president, when as he says, they're going to restart up the repeal and replace plans, perhaps in January, what would you say to them as a physician who you want to service the people, you want to make sure those who have pre-existing conditions and people who are less wealthy can have access to great doctors like yourself? What would you say to Congress and the president in terms of formalizing a plan that would facilitate that?
You know, I think the most important thing is we need to remember to put patients first. Quit focusing on treatment. Focus on prevention. How do we do that? Allow free competition across state lines among insurers. No longer allow insurance companies to dictate care. They need more regulation. No longer allow pharmaceutical companies to charge whatever they like. Allow us to purchase drugs from reputable pharmacies in Canada and create competition to lower prices. Make sure that people like Heather Brash and Martin Shkreli go to prison for what they do to patients in the name of fattening their own wallet. Make sure, again, put patients first. That's how we fix health care.
We leave it there. Dr. Kevin Campbell, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Meanwhile, a South African judge dramatically altering the prison sentence for Oscar Pistorius. What in the world prompted this rare action on behalf of the court?
The respondent sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 13 years and 5 months. I hereby hand down the judgment.